Can you hear me now? Hi, everybody. This is Steve. I don't know if you can hear me yet or see me yet. Hi, everybody. Hi again. It looks like we are live now, and so welcome to the first ever Visible Authority Masterclass. I'm Steve, your host, and over the next hour or so, I hope to open your eyes up to a new way of thinking about what you do when you make a video for your business. So, thank you for joining today. I'm happy to see a lot of folks here. There's Eddie and Gil and Steps and Sounds and Peter and Mago and oh my goodness. Okay, it's great to see you guys all here. If you have any questions, feel free to type them into the chat. I do want to let you know that there is a delay. Like whenever you do a live stream, there's about a 30-second delay between what I say and what you hear. And so if it feels like I'm ignoring you, I promise you I'm not ignoring you. Now, let's do a sound check. Let's do a reality check. Can you see me? Can you hear me? It's probably more important to be able to hear me at this point than to see me. So I'm just not going to go much further until I get some. Just type in hey or something like that that says, yeah, we can see you, we can hear you. Peter says we see and hear you both. Paul says, oh good, yes on both, yes, hello, okay. Let's get on with it. Thank you very much, guys. All right, so I was very excited about this when I got this idea to do this masterclass, because I'm going to do something that I don't think I've ever seen before, and that is we are very blessed at Visible Authority to have lots of brave and courageous people, and so when I asked for volunteers to have their videos deconstructed and perhaps reconstructed, a whole bunch of people volunteered for it. I was a little surprised, actually. I said, are you sure? Because this is going to be seen by a lot of people in the public who don't know you. And they said, fine, no problem. So I chose three. I chose three because I saw a trend, and that is that so many people are putting videos on social media today, all kinds of websites, and they're doing mostly either kind of very informal videos or ads. And I thought, well, considering this is for business, why don't we focus on the people that are making ad type videos? Because there are all kinds of different ads. So I'm focusing on three sites today: Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn. And I'm going in order of technical complexity. So the first one is going to be very, very untechnical. It's really just a person and either their webcam or their phone, I'm not sure. The second one will have some fun with Instagram and the violence that they do to videos. And the third one is very complex because this person did green screen. But all of them, well, two of them were intended to be ads. One was not, but I thought it should be an ad, which I know is kind of unusual for me. So before we get started, I wanted to see if there were any questions that people, I don't see really any questions that have anything to do with anything other than what we're talking about now. So why don't I just go ahead and get started, and we'll go ahead and play you the first video. Now, this first video is from wait a minute, I want to make sure I get her name right here. Denise Barnes. So Denise is a counseling professional, and she decided that she was going to make a free course for people who are stressed out by these constant universal lockdowns. So first of all, we thank you, Denise. We really appreciate that. And this is how she put it to me. This is the introductory video of the 4 Steps to De-Stress, which is a free program. And there's a CTA here to try a free intuitive consult and sign on to the NL. I wish I knew what NL meant. I don't know what that means. But the feedback desired is technical tips, sounds, background, script, content tips, CTA feedback, call to action feedback, and welcome. Now this whole video is almost 7 minutes, and there will be links to all of her videos later, but I think for our purposes, I think you can just watch for a minute, and that should give you a good idea of what we're dealing with and what we need to work on. Here we go.
Hi, I'm Denise Barnes, and welcome to the 4 Steps to De-Stress. Feeling stressed lately? You wouldn't be alone. And it's hard. You can get stuck in emotions when you're stressed that don't feel helpful. You can feel hopeless, or you get caught in those loops of thinking, circular thoughts, unhelpful thoughts, anxiety. And today, with COVID, all the ways we used to de-stress many of them aren't available. Our coping kit, so to speak, or our toolkit for dealing with stress has been cut in half, and it's not easy to find good substitutes for those things that used to work for us. So it's really hard right now. And, COVID is real. It's a big stress monster, kind of adding to the mess. And just remembering, and I talk about this on the page, there's a lot more details, but Maslow's hierarchy.
Okay, and there we are. So let's talk about what we saw. These videos, as I said before, are part of a 4-video sequence leading to a free consult. So there is a content strategy of sorts. The problem is that it's on YouTube. And the issue with a video like this, and let's just go ahead and look at this video one more time.
Hi, I'm Denise Barnes, and welcome to the...
But I just want to bring your attention to the composition here. So there's 6.5 minutes of this. And this is one person, and it's just their head. Like, it's not even head and shoulders, it's mostly just head. And we have a room behind her, but the background, I think, is not all that supportive to the message. If this message is a 4-part series on de-stressing, I'm thinking of a counselor's office where I can come in and sit down and feel comfortable, and I'm not sure I would in that room. It's hard to tell a little bit. I just don't think it's that supportive of the message. Because she's so big in the frame, she's got nowhere to go. I would have preferred to see, like, maybe from the waist up, and so that way we could go back and forth, long shot to close up. There's nothing in this video that would lead me to believe it was a good video for YouTube, and the reason is this. With YouTube, you're talking to people who don't know you for the most part. I think this video is going to people who would know Denise for the most part, and so they would be more likely to watch her. Now, the good thing about Denise and what she did is that even though her dynamic range of expression is not really wide, she has a lot of subtlety in her face, a wide range of expression in her face within that somewhat narrow range. And so I think that if you were disposed to want to know something more about this, you would probably listen to her, because she does make it easy to listen to her. The problem is there's too much distraction. With YouTube, they're trying to, get you to watch, here, watch me play a video game. Here, watch how to do this golf shot. Here, watch this celebrity fall down the stairs. I mean, there's just too many other things to do on LinkedIn. And so because there's nothing to grab our attention and hold our interest, there's no text. Like at one point, she says, go to my website, and spells it out instead of just putting it on the screen. I don't understand that. That's what video is supposed to do. It's supposed to make things easier for people to use other parts of their brain to comprehend what's going on. So that's not there. There's no B-roll. There's no music, like the beginning of this session. And there needs to be that stuff if you're going to have a 7-minute video where you've got ins and outs and dynamic range, and you've got peaks and valleys and all that kind of stuff. So as Paul said, because all this is going on, it does stress you out a little bit, which is ironic because obviously Denise wants this to unstress people. So, because of this, I decided that maybe what we should do is use YouTube in a different way. Get the same message out, but instead of taking 7 minutes, take 1 minute. So what I want you to do is just watch this next piece, if you will. What I'm going to do is, well, I wrote a 1 minute piece for her, and I used a structure that I use with a lot of 1 minute videos that I'll teach you in just a little bit. But first, what I want you to see is how she interpreted it. She didn't interpret the script exactly the way I wrote it. She wrote it a little bit differently, but I just asked her to keep it to the 1 minute, to the 1 minute time limit. So see what you think, and then we'll talk about it.
When I was a little girl, I watched my mother work herself into a nub. She never had time for savoring, and I grew up with that same driven perfectionism until it was almost too late. Eventually, working alongside cancer patients was a call to go deeper. How could I hold myself up as a healer when I couldn't even make myself happy? I feel fortunate to have found these evidence-based principles of perfect peace I'm going to share with you in this free series. These never-ending lockdowns, just disguising the fact that one's sense of well-being isn't based on anything going on in the world. So please, click below to start it up, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I enjoyed creating it for you. I'm Denise Barnes, and I help human beings find the peace they were born to experience.
Okay, so a couple of things I want to bring your attention to. One is that, I think that audio is terribly important. It's about 10% more important than the video is for almost any video. And I don't know that she was using a microphone here, but one of the things that can stress us out a little bit is when we see someone so close up, but their audio sounds like they're 10 feet away. That causes a little bit of stress for me, and I know it does for other people too. And so even a little $20 mic, $15 mic that you can get off Amazon, plug that into your computer with a USB cable. They even have little microphones that you can plug into an iPhone, and that would be good. Now, this video, both of these videos were recorded at 720p, which is barely HD. So when you blow that up on a 27-inch screen, it's soft. It looks soft. But the thing is, it's good to put yourself on video for trust building. And if that was the objective, I would have gone with a vertical aspect ratio. So you would see more of her in the frame and less of the office. But the good thing about that is that you could then cut to a larger shot all along the way. So if you could do that, put in a little bit of text in there, that's all. This would be a really nice video. Now, here's the thing. This is video 1. It's really the intro video for a 4-part teaching series on reducing stress. Well, the problem is you have to go to her website to do that, but she doesn't give you the page to go to do that. She gives, and everybody does this. Well, not everybody, but most people do this. They don't send you to a landing page. They send you to the home page of your website. And now you have to find it. And tell me, how are you going to go and look for it? Are you going to try to find it on our website? You might, but 90% of the people won't. So instead, what you do is you put a link in your description that goes to a landing page to the website that is built just for that video series. Then they opt in, you get their email address, and now you can talk to them and about all kinds of other things. The objective of this video is to get someone to take a free session of some kind. I don't think that's a great idea. I think that for a person who has this kind of expertise, The only reason someone should be calling you is to figure out how to get started. I mean, think about it. When you go to McDonald's and buy a Big Mac, if we do such things, you don't go and say, well, I'd like a free hamburger first, and then maybe I'll buy your, what do you call that, Big Mac? That's not the way it works, you know? The person who does the work deserves to be paid for it. So, but that's what it should be with Denise. People should be calling her and asking to do work with her. Why? Because part of the strategy, she's posted her prices, she's posted her programs, she has sent people all kinds of information beyond the thing that they opted in for, the series that they opted in for. And so now when they call, they have all the information. They have sold themselves on her. And so the purpose of that call is just to figure out, how are we going to get started? And that's how a video strategy should work. There's never any need to try to coerce someone and say, oh, well, you need to do this because this would be so good for you. You know, you can lay down this path of attraction for people instead. And Paul says, time is the most valuable thing we have. Having to search for it means my time is being wasted. That's true. Okay, so lighting is important. Lighting is terribly important in video. You know, it's in fact that's 80% of everything is the lighting, because if you get the lighting right, it's easier to get the focus right. It's easier to get the exposure right. There's so much you can do, and lighting doesn't have to be expensive. It really doesn't. You can sit in front of a window and get that beautiful winter light streaming in, that big soft box pane of glass that's in front of you if you don't have any money whatsoever, or you just get one of those little Viltrox lights. I've got a couple of them up here. They cost very little, like $35 or something. This doesn't have to be expensive. You can shoot with a webcam if you must. So the important thing is your strategy. It is understanding what you want to say and using storytelling principles. So, yeah. Okay, so if there are no other questions on Denise's video, I think maybe we'll go on to the next one. Yeah? Yeah? Okay. I don't see any comments there. I was just checking about that. So this next video, did I see Michelle? I think I saw Michelle in here. Yeah. So this next video was made by an artist that I know. Her name is Michelle Tuig. And she creates art around the subject of horses. And she has done this for years and years. And she volunteered to have a video deconstructed here. And it was really interesting. She decided to use Instagram, see if there was a market on Instagram. Probably so. There probably is a market for art on Instagram. But she didn't reckon with the violence that Instagram would do to her video. So let me just explain here. So there's a couple of different ways that you can post videos on Instagram. You can use Instagram stories, which is what she did, what Michelle did. Instagram stories are 15 seconds long. So if you post a 1-minute video to Instagram stories, Instagram is going to slice your 1-minute video into 4 slices. And that's what they did. And so she uploaded 3 videos like that. And I'll post those videos later for you to watch if you want, because they're kind of fun. Now, you know, she could have just posted a 1-minute video, but instead, well, you know what? Before I say anything, let me just let you watch her first video so that you can see what we're going to be talking about. Here we go.
Hi, this is Michelle Tuig with the story behind my art, created to bring peace and joy into your home or office. I've called the 16 by 24 inch piece behind me of a shy pony's peek over a lichen-covered fence, Curiosity. At first I named it Shyness, but later realized it was his curiosity that day that brought him to the fence and closer to me. I totally feel shy around meeting new people, so I identify with this image a lot. But I've also got a high level of curiosity about others that thankfully pushes me outside of my comfort zone, as it must have this pony. Maybe you're an introvert or know one well. I hope this image reinforces how curiosity can help us connect with others. You can find curiosity in my gallery on michelletuig.com. Until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon with another story about my art. Peace out. Hi, this is Michelle Tuig.
Okay, so did you notice how Instagram cut that 1 minute video into 4 pieces? But there's a couple things I wanted you to see here in this. Let's go back.
Hi, this is Michelle Tuig with the
Michelle's composition. Michelle is an artist, and she did some clever things here. First of all, she is using the Instagram 1080 by 1920 aspect ratio in a good way. So she's got herself low in the frame, and she's got the art high in the frame. And because she's got this neutral background behind her, it is kind of forcing the eye up to look at the horse. Her glasses, her makeup, her outfit, the spareness of the background all kind of says to you that she's an artist. And that's a good thing. And this brings up a point. We all do, because what we're talking about today are people who make videos as not their main thing. They have expertise in other areas, and they're making these videos by themselves for their companies, and they have to be able to do them not only effectively, but efficiently. So this is what I'm trying to get across to you, that there are simple things that you can do as someone who is not a video professional that can work to your advantage. And one of the biggest things is to understand how the social media sites work and how video is perceived on those sites. So now, the thing that didn't work so much for Michelle here is that because she's using, I suppose, an iPhone, I'm not sure, there was way too much light hitting that one side of her face, and so she was just overexposed. But fortunately, the art was not overexposed. Now, it looks really small in the frame here, but if you were looking at this on your phone, everything's going to look small. And if you're looking at this on a big frame, I think the frame would be large enough here. But I think the big problem that I had with this was how Instagram was cutting it up. So I rewrote it. And I thought, why don't we take advantage of the fact that we know Instagram is going to cut this up and kind of play with it. See, the problem with cutting up an ad is this. Imagine you're watching a one minute ad on TV, and every 15 seconds, CBS puts a blank, a couple of frames in there. Well, that takes you out, right? And now, now the ad has to bring you back in again, and just as soon as you get back in again, boop, here they come, and they break it up again, and now I'm taken out again. So I thought, well, why don't we just use that? Why don't we just let them go ahead and break it up? And so I wrote a script based on the idea that she knows that every 15 seconds, this is going to be broken up. So let's take a look here.
Say hello to the horse above in the image I've titled Curiosity. He's a lot like me, shy around new people, but curious about life. The thing he's curious about is very simple. You might even have guessed. That's right. Now that you know what this horse is curious about, does it ever make you wonder why you're shy around new people? I've found that just being around horses, I've begun to lose some old fears. In fact, but now that you know my biggest fear, I sure hope you don't take advantage of it by asking for a discount on my most popular image. You already know I won't be able to say no, so I might as well tell you that the sale price on my last 24 by 16 canvas, including shipping within the US, well, if Instagram cut out any important stuff, just go to my website and look at Curiosity all you like. The sale price is there for this last signed canvas from my pre-COVID art show. So take that, Instagram.
And there you are. So instead of being taken out of the video, you're actually pulled back into the video, which I think works a little bit better. So I'm wondering if you guys have any questions about either of these videos. Now, understand that what I was trying to do with both of these was help them create something that did not require any additional production. We're going from the simple to the complex. Now, the one I'm going to show you, next, the final one that we're going to look at, was very complex, but I don't think it achieved really what this person wanted it to achieve. Okay, so to answer Vernon's question, was the timing of the Instagram cuts knowable in advance? The answer is yes, the timing was known in advance, which is why I wrote it the way I did. The problem is that you have to then, I wrote it in with little pauses at about 13 seconds, but it's very difficult to perform that unless you actually have a stopwatch in front of you. So I wound up, cutting things a little bit more. But I thought she did a pretty good job, considering that this was, her first stab at something like this. And by the way, this is also important to understand. Even though you're doing all these other things in your business, right? You have to devote once you understand how the strategy works, you have to devote a little bit of time to this, because this is a gradual perfecting of your game. And after that, it's really not that difficult to do, but it does require some time at the beginning. Josh asks, is there another Instagram format that's longer than 15 seconds? Yes, there's Instagram posts and there's Instagram TV. Now with Instagram TV, you can upload, I think, a 10-minute video, and if you have X number of subscribers, you can upload a 1-hour video. But I think that mostly this is what people do. So what Michelle may want to do in the future is just upload these as regular posts, and that way she can time it exactly to 1 minute, and that would be kind of a fun thing to do, I think. Again, I just can't say enough about how brave these women are, to have submitted these videos for you guys to look at. And thank you for being kind to them, by the way, because I know that it's easier to learn if you're not all worried about being judged. So I think they're doing a great job, just a great job. Instagram, Jan says Instagram Reels is longer as well. I don't know exactly how much. Yeah, so yes, this does require a little bit of practice, even if it's really simple. All right, now, this is the big kahuna. I went back and forth with this person about this, and so I'm going to show you several iterations. And I think that it will be very helpful to you. Now, if you want, we can go into Final Cut Pro, and I'll show you how some other things were done within this, because this is one that had to be edited. You'll see why. She actually edited the first one. Now, this next video is from a ghostwriter named Wendy Strain. And Wendy has ghostwritten tons and tons of books, but she's never done a video. that I can, that I'm aware of. And so she and her husband made this video, and they put it as a featured link on her LinkedIn profile. I think LinkedIn is a great place for her to put her videos, but for reasons that you'll see here, I'm not sure that it was the only place that she could put them. So when I saw the video, I was really curious about how it was shot. So she was nice enough to send the original the raw footage. Let's just look at a few seconds of this raw footage.
Are you a coach, consultant, speaker, or business leader?
So you'll see she's
After the
way,
elevator pitch, do
way
you
down
find it
low on the
challenging
green
to
screen,
explain exactly
which is
what
going to
you do for
present
potential
some
clients?
real problems for us
Maybe
later
you're
on.
left fumbling
And
to
for her,
explain the
I should
juicy
say, later
bits
on.
that help you stand out from the crowd of
The
other
good thing
professionals in
about
your
this
space.
is that the green screen itself is nice
This
and taut,
sounds
so
like
she didn't
something
have to
you've
deal with,
struggled with.
all these
I
different
know
colors
exactly
of green.
how to help. Hi, my
But
name is
she's
Wendy
pretty
Strain,
close
and
to
I
the
am a
green
professional
screen, and it's
ghostwriter
not
and
read
content
separately,
creator.
and that's, I
When
think,
you
going to
work with
cause some
me,
issues
I
later
can help
on.
you find your professional
so,
story. What could be better
and
than
she's
that?
got long, blonde,
I
kind
will
of
write your unique
fine
approach
hair,
into a service.
and that is also going to present an issue for us. So now, this is an ad. This video is an ad for her services. She says it's an introduction to the stuff that she does in a more specific way, but it's an ad. And so, because it has a call to action about doing ghostwriting kinds of things. So, so what I want you to see now is that there are ads and there are ads. Like if you're going to do an ad and you're going to have some production to it, then you want it to come across in a way that at least makes you feel comfortable. So production, and so what people do sometimes is they add a lot of production elements to the ad. I want you to see what Wendy did here. We're now going to watch the entire ad. It's less than 2 minutes. That's good. As a content person, she has a good understanding of how long a video, an introductory type video should be. I think it's like 1:46. Ready? Here we go.
Are you a coach, consultant, speaker, or business leader? After the elevator pitch, do you find it challenging to explain exactly what you do for potential clients? Maybe you're left fumbling to explain the juicy bits that help you stand out from the crowd of other professionals in your space. If this sounds like something you've struggled with, I know exactly how to help. Hi, my name is Wendy Strain, and I am a professional ghostwriter and content creator. When you work with me, I can help you find your professional story. What could be better than that? Well, I will write your unique approach into a service-based book and develop one-of-a-kind marketing materials that will showcase the distinctive and knowledgeable professional you are. I take the burden of creating all of that content off your shoulders so you can focus on giving your clients the best of you without sacrificing the rest of you or blending into the template using crowd. Message me here on LinkedIn to discover how having your own professional book can help your business grow. Talk to you soon.
Okay, so I want to talk about this now. Let's look at various parts of this video. What's going on here? Oh, whoops. Are we having technical difficulties? All right, let's get her back.
Hi, this is Michelle
Oops, that's
Tuig
not
with the
the right
story
one.
behind my
Sorry.
art, created to bring peace and joy into your home or office.
Here we go. Okay. All right. So
Know
here we are.
exactly how to
Just pause it here for a moment. I hope you can hear me now. I apologize about not being audible while the other video was playing. I'll try not to do that again. Okay. So, and also, you know, if the speech doesn't match the mouth movement right now, that's probably because of this live stream and not because of her video. I saw that comment there. So I want to talk about this video and the elements of this video. Now, if you want, we can go into Final Cut and I can show you the things that need to be thought out here. But yes, someone brought up that this is kind of long. Can you imagine an ad, and the ad starts with credits, right? So it's the cast and the crew and the title of it and the director and all that stuff. Would you watch that ad? I don't think I would watch the ad. I would think it was unusual, but I'd probably turn it off after that. So I think I would dispense probably with the animated opening and just get right to the ad. Now let's look at the composition here. This is rather unusual. If I just saw this in an ad and I saw this was the first part of the ad with the person on screen, I would think, well, I wonder where the text is. It looks like there should be some text over on the right-hand side. And because of her relationship to the rest of the background, which, by the way, is supportive of what she does. I mean, it's obviously an office. But the way she's placed herself on the screen, I think it almost looks like she's camping out on the floor and the table is almost above her, and like someone is saying she should place herself according to the rule of thirds. Thanks, Ron. So now I will say this, and one of the reasons I wanted to work on this one was that, frankly, Wendy's personality was so bubbly and frothy and excitable. I think she called herself nutty or something like that. But it's so much enthusiasm, and her script. I mean, obviously, she's a good content writer. She wrote that script. The problem is that when you turn it into a video, you notice that even though every one of these lines is really nice, they're kind of separate. In other words, the script doesn't really come together. Like the thoughts don't follow one another easily, if that makes sense. Like, and you can tell that because of the big pauses between each of the thoughts. So we needed fewer pauses between thoughts. And yes, she is reading it, and yes, her eyes are not looking at the camera. And I think probably of all the problems in this video, that's got to be the worst one. Because why do you put yourself on video? Do you put yourself on video so that you can look over here and read your script and say, oh, it's so nice to see you today? Oh, you're looking so good today. Oh, I love the way your hair looks today. And you're looking off in the distance. That doesn't make any sense to me. Why do people do that? I'm sorry, Wendy, I'm not yelling at you. Everybody does this. You are not alone. Millions of people do this. I just don't think it should be done. Either you should use a teleprompter, or you should just do a script that doesn't require you to do a teleprompter. You, though, Wendy, are a writer. And so if you're going to write your script and put it on video, use a proper teleprompter. They make very inexpensive through the lens teleprompters. And you can do that. And then you can string those thoughts together like nobody's business. You could be awesome on camera because you have so much really bubbly, positive energy. You're very interesting. You're very interesting on camera. I've never seen anybody quite like you on camera. And everybody should use their, who they really are to the best of their ability. And that is one of your power moves is putting yourself on camera. But you need to do it in a way that is easy for people to, to take. Now, okay, I'm reading the comments here. Hold on one second. Yeah, you need to see the ghostwriter because you need to trust her before engaging her services. I think that, going ahead and putting a video on LinkedIn is fine. It's an ad, all right? And so if you're going to do an ad and it's going to be like this, you need to give it a little bit more production value. I mean, think about it. I think it probably costs a pretty penny to have someone write a book for you. And so you want the quality of that to match the quality of the book that you're going to write for them. So I thought about this a little bit, and I took her footage, and I didn't change anything about her footage, but I changed everything about the video. So I want you to see this now. It's now just a little over a minute instead of 1:46 seconds. No, wait a minute, I think it's 1.5 minutes instead of 1:46 because I kept the script. I didn't cut out any of the script, but I made a lot of changes. And then we're going to talk about those changes because some of them you may not notice on a conscious level. Okay, here we go.
Are you a coach, consultant, speaker, or business leader? After the elevator pitch, do you find it challenging to explain exactly what you do for potential clients? Maybe you're left fumbling to explain the juicy bits that help you stand out from the crowd of other professionals in your space. If this sounds like something you've struggled with, I know exactly how to help. Hi, my name is Wendy Strain, and I am a professional ghostwriter and content creator. When you work with me, I can help you find your professional story. What could be better than that? Well, I will write your unique approach into a service-based book and develop one-of-a-kind marketing materials that will showcase the distinctive and knowledgeable professional you are. I take the burden of creating all of that content off your shoulders so you can focus on giving your clients the best of you without sacrificing the rest of you or blending into the template-using crowd. Message me here on LinkedIn to discover how having your own professional book can help your business grow.
Okay, so there are a lot of things happening in that video now. And by the way, there was a comment here that implies that I said that she was babbly. I didn't say she was babbly. I said she was bubbly. Bubbly personality. Very positive, very upbeat. Okay, so I just wanted to clear that up. So what I would like to do now is draw your attention to some of the elements here that are different. So let me just let's bring up the re-edit one more time.
Are you a coach, consultant, speaker?
Pause it. Okay. All right. So the first thing I want you to notice is that, well, as you already did notice this, that there's a lot of B-roll in here that is sort of appropriate to what she does as a writer. And I took her background, I took her same background and applied a blur to the back part of the background using Final Cut and left the front of it a little less blurred. So it was a little bit more, a little bit more realistic looking, and also brought it down in the frame so that it didn't look like she was down, but that it was more like the right relationship to the room. And I did that just by making the picture bigger. So here's one thing that I think people don't appreciate is that you can get an image and use it for your background and make it, and it can be pretty small. This is a 1920 by 1080 video. And you can have maybe like, a background that's maybe 800 pixels or something. And you can blow that sucker up pretty big. You could probably even use it on a 4K video timeline. Little known secret. So what I did was I blew up that background really, really big, and so it made it it made it a
Are
little
you a
easier
coach, consultant,
to
speaker?
watch there. So see, she's a little higher in the frame. Now, the other thing, in addition to doing that, there's a couple things you can't see. I used a plugin for Final Cut called Hawaii Keyer 4. And Hawaii Keyer 4 gives you a better result when you're using, when someone has fine blonde hair. Like in her case, she might have even been better off with a blue screen. But you know, this is fine. And then the other thing, and I also put in another plugin, another Hawaii plugin for changing the edges on it. So I thought that came out pretty well. But the other problem that you might be a little more difficult for you to see here, but it was made a big difference in by my eye anyway, was that when you shoot green screen with an iPhone, your skin looks like you're wearing a plastic version of your own skin. It's the weirdest thing. So I used another plugin called, what is that plugin? Hold on one second, I'm going to bring it up here. Called Beauty Box. And what Beauty Box does is it puts a little bit of a blur, just a tiny little bit of a blur on your face. And it gets rid of like slight imperfections. And that's what I did here. And then the other thing was, you know, introduced her with a nice professional lower third here when she mentioned her name. And then the other thing was this, and just created this using the color of her outfit so that everything on the screen would match. And then because, see, the thing is, because Wendy comes off so light, it might be for some people a little too light. So I thought she needed a little bit of gravitas to show people how serious a writer she is. So I just went to her website and grabbed some, you know, some shots off of her website, a little bit more B-roll there, and then saved the animated opening for the end, where it could actually do some good for her. So that was, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Let me see if there's any questions about this. So it's not, okay, so I want to tell you about a teleprompter, an inexpensive teleprompter called Caddy Buddy. I think if you go to caddybuddy.com and just look up teleprompters, you'll see. In fact, I did a review of this one a few years ago on the website. It's a very inexpensive teleprompter. In fact, I've got it in front of me right now. I'm not using it as a teleprompter, but it is, you know, my camera's sitting behind it. Yeah, so yes, the software that you use for the teleprompter is also kind of important. And I use a software, and I recommend a software called, oh, what is it called? Prompt Smart Pro. Prompt Smart Pro, though, is only made for iPhones and Mac products, and that's the only voice-activated one I know of. If somebody knows of one for Windows, please feel free to type it in. I would love to recommend that. I did not speed up Wendy's audio anywhere during the video. However, I did cut. Remember we talked about the fact that she had these long pauses between sentences? I cut all those pauses out and covered them with B-roll. Good catch. Let's see. Oh, they make a Prompt Smart Pro for Androids. Awesome. Good to know. So you can go to the Play Store and get that. Play Store, yes. All right. Now, so there are these problems with now. So we've solved all the technical problems for the most part, except for audio. Actually, of all the things that I had to do, audio was the thing that took the longest and had the least beneficial effect. Because when the video was recorded, it was not recorded with, I don't even know if it was recorded with a mic. You know, the camera might have been like 10 feet away and that's how it got on. I'm not sure. But audio is so important. And even when, well, let me hold this back for a minute. I don't want to talk about this yet. So audio is very important. Let me just say that. It could have been more booming, you know, it could have been more resonant. And it's okay for women to have that bass resonance in their voice. What am I doing with this? I'm not even using it. So what I wanted to do then was just talk about the fact that this is going on her LinkedIn profile. Let's talk strategy for a minute. If you're going to have an ad on your LinkedIn profile for your business, you want something that brings people to your website and just signs up to get something useful, and now they're on your house list and now you can talk to them, right? That's a good thing. The number of people who are willing to do that in exchange for something really valuable is just enormous compared to the number of people who will come to your website and hire you today as a ghostwriter. You want to have an audience. You want to have people who are interested in what you're doing and want to know more about it. So I used the 1-minute formula for Wendy and wrote a script for her. Now, I'm not overly impressed with how this came out, or with either one of us. I wasn't very impressed with what I did with it. Wendy was feeling really, really sick that day, and she also shot from way below instead of above. You should always shoot yourself from just a little bit above eye level, but instead she shot from way down here, and that had not a great effect on the video. But I want you to see it anyway. I want you to try to look past the flaws that both of us committed on this video so that you can see the effectiveness of just the script itself. All right? There. I hope I've made enough apologies. That was a terrible thing to do. Should never apologize. Don't ever apologize. Ready? Here we go.
Are you a coach, consultant, speaker, or business leader? After the elevator pitch, do you find it challenging to explain exactly what you do for potential clients? Maybe you're left fumbling to explain the juicy bits that help.
I just showed you the wrong video. All right, let me get the right video in here. Hopefully this is it.
Because I grew up in airports, I've met people from all walks of life with all kinds of stories. They fascinated me as a child, and they fascinate me even more as an adult. So, when I started writing books for others, without even realizing it, I discovered I had a rich and varied background to pull from. If there's a book burning inside of you, you don't have to fall prey to the template crowd. You can bring the best of you without losing the rest of you. Engage your audience with the unexpected, the smart, and the entertaining. At my website, you'll discover insights about how people want to engage with your book. After ghostwriting so many successful titles, I've learned what makes long-form content sell. And I'm happy to share that with you. I'm Wendy Strain, and I turn humble business owners into extraordinary authors.
And there you have it. So that's a 1-minute video as opposed to 1 minute and 46-second video. And what it does is it basically just says, this is what we do, this is what you need, this is where it comes from, this is what it could be. Find out more about how it can be more like what you want it to be. And so come to the website, get this great stuff. And she has pictures of the great stuff because I don't know if she has a lead magnet right now. And that's about that's about that. Now, again, this video, more than the other one, I think, probably because she was a little less familiar with this script, she made less eye contact with the camera than before. So I really would have preferred that. And I really would have preferred to see some of her personality. But I know, Wendy, I know you were not feeling well that day. So I really do appreciate the fact that you were game enough to really try this with really not much notice either. I mean, like, she did this with like 2 days notice with all the other stuff she was doing. And so hopefully the pitch pulled you in, not the pitch, the story pulled you in as an attention getter. And then if you were interested in being able to tell good stories, it kept your interest for the rest. But again, it was only a minute long. So, Jan asked, do you need both the Caddy Buddy and the Prompt Smart Pro? Well, you need the Caddy Buddy if you want to do through the lens teleprompting. You don't necessarily need Prompt Smart Pro. There's a million different apps that will help you do teleprompting. That's one that I just think is easier. It's not as certain, though. It's not as certain. Sometimes it just stops for no reason at all, or sometimes it goes on ahead for no reason that we can discern. So, in the old days, I mean, I haven't used anything but that for a couple of years now, but in the old days, at least it was reliable because you would hit a certain rate and then it would go, and then you would have to keep up that rate. But yeah, I mean, they're all good. They're all fine. As long as they give analog type gradations in how fast or slow the scroll speed is. Some of them are like fast, medium, slow. No good. No good. You can't put yourself in a box like that. I'm just checking the comments here. All right. Yeah. All right. So someone is asking about how I was set up. By the way, this is my first time using this live streaming software. This is called OBS, very popular, I guess. It's a free service, really. So I just figured out how to use it and just put everything in a row. And then when you bring things in, you can do it either with a transition or with a hard cut. It's really fairly simple to use. If this video guy can do it, I imagine most of you guys can do it who are way better with computers than I am. So, what was the purpose of that long page of text with the woman in the image pulling her hair out? Well, that's for me to know and you to find out. No, it's actually that was a book. That was a book that she had written, but it really gets your attention, doesn't it? See, here's the thing. Videos are created over time, right? This was what I would call a rough edit, and the client didn't get to approve it. You would probably run that by some people, and if they'd said something like, like Michelle just did, you would go, oh, maybe we should take that one out and put in a different image. But those kinds of things are easy to change. Let's see. Gaming monitor. Okay. All right. So the lighting setup that I'm using right now is I have two Viltrox lights. These are like 30-watt LED lights, one right over here and one right over here. And then behind me, I have a light in a can. I have like a light bulb in a can just shining up at the ceiling just to, give some extra ambient light. And then I've got my little, puck lights over there where I keep my trophy. Okay. And then, yeah, with the Caddy Buddy, you use a tablet. All right, let me just grab this tablet. So I'm using an iPad mini. I set this up. I actually had put this entire webinar, this entire live stream on the Caddy Buddy And I thought, well, maybe I'll just read the whole thing. And then I thought, well, don't you know it by now? I mean, so I decided not to do that. But it fits, an iPad mini fits in that tray really well, but any kind of iPad will, even an iPhone will. But I think an iPad is better, and it scrolls pretty well. All right. All right. So let's talk about this 1 minute structure. I used the 1 minute structure with all three of our heroes today, our heroines today, and it's a really pretty, it's a simple structure. Anyone can use it, but it's so flexible. And I think it's a great structure to use if you want to bring people to your website and have them opt in for something. It's a great structure to use on your About page if you want to tell people what you're about. And the way it works is this. It starts with a story, a very, very brief story. Oh, by the way, I learned this from an associate of mine named Dennis Yu, who is the CEO of Blitz Metrics. A really great guy, by the way. I really like Dennis a lot. He trains people to have their own marketing companies, young people to have their own marketing companies. And I think he came up with this structure to help them get into starting to make their own videos, because they're I mean, all the examples that I saw that he was using were so very, very basic. I mean, people literally standing in front of a sheet in their bedroom, you know, but they can be used at the highest levels of production, from there to the highest levels of production. So imagine you have 60 seconds to work with. The first 10 seconds is the story, and it starts with words like, I remember when. So I remember when I was a boy and I got up at 4 a.m. to deliver my papers. All right. So that didn't take long, but it sets the scene. And obviously it's going to be about something, so I got your attention. The story should have something to do with the moral that you're going to talk about. Well, maybe not moral, but the point that you're going to make, or, or the solution that you're going to provide to the problem that you're about to bring up. So you tell the story, and then for about 20 seconds after that, you talk about the problem. Well, what I've noticed is that people who get up early don't seem to get enough sleep at night. And that creates all kinds of havoc for them during the day. They're not attentive, they crash their airplanes, they make spelling mistakes while they're crashing their airplanes. And so then you spend the next 20 seconds or so, maybe 30 seconds, talking about the solution. And the solution goes back to the story. So I remember when I got up at 4 in the morning. Well, the thing is, when I got up at 4 in the morning, I made sure that I went to bed by 7 o'clock so that I got enough sleep. But that's not the idea. The idea is not to get enough sleep. The idea is to be awake when you're awake. And so you need this solution in a bottle right here. Then, after you do that, that's a terrible commercial. I hope no one does that, by the way. Then, after you say that, then you say your name. After you've done all that, and not until, hi, I'm Steve Washer, and I've turned entrepreneurs into video pros, or something like that. Now, right before you say that, right before you introduce yourself, you have your call to action. And you say, and you can get this at my website for free. It will show you everything you need to know about getting a good night's sleep. It's absolutely free. I hope you enjoy it as much as I enjoyed making it. I'm Steve Washer. I help people get a good night's sleep. And that's it. You're out. That's a 1-minute video, but that's also an ad. It gets your attention. It holds your interest. It explains the problem. It gives the solution. It gives a call to action, and we know who you are. And you haven't told us anything that we didn't need to know. It's very effective and it's very efficient. And it responds to any kind of treatment, whether you're just standing in front of a sheet in your bedroom or whether you're in a studio with a 40-foot green screen behind you and a crew of 12 in front of you. It is that adaptable. So, boy, I hope we're still live. Wait a minute. I don't know. Are we still live? Yes, we are still live. I don't know how long I made this. It suddenly occurred to me that maybe YouTube would turn this off, but they haven't yet. So I'm just checking the comments here. If you guys have any questions about anything. Yeah, Terry mentions the unexplained freezes with Prompt Smart Pro. I have tried everything to get rid of those freezes. I even tried adding another microphone, thinking, well, maybe it just didn't hear it, but that was not it. You still got the freezes. Did I mention if I'm using the Elgato 4K Cam Link? Yes, I am using the Elgato Cam Link 4K. I actually found that the Cam Link 4K does give a better effect than this HDMI video capture thing that I reviewed the other day on the website, last week on the website. They do the same thing, but I find that the Cam Link 4K renders a nicer image. So I'll tell you that the image coming out of my camera is a 4K image, but that's not what the Cam Link is broadcasting. We're broadcasting at 1500 pixels or something, and that's just for efficiency of getting it all through the pipe. But I think it does a better, more elegant job of rendering it all. Let's see, where to get your B-roll? There's all kinds of places to get B-roll, but I'll tell you where I get most of my B-roll these days. I have lots of sources for this, but I have found one really great source is storyblocks.com. And storyblocks.com is made up of videoblocks.com, audioblocks.com, and imageblocks.com. And you can get a subscription to all three. Video blocks is where all the B-roll comes from, and there's tons of it. Image blocks is all right, but it doesn't have nearly the variety. And audio blocks is where I get almost all of my sound effects and music these days. It's really very good, audio blocks is. And I think that, you know, for the money, like it's like $150 a year to get a subscription to all three of those. Let's see. What was the first problem provided? Oh, what was the first point before explain the problem, provide the solution? Okay, so it was tell the story, 10 second, tell the story, explain the problem, 15 seconds, 20 seconds of solution, call to action, and then introduction. It's 5 pieces. But it should all be over in a minute or so. Okay, I won't be a Nazi about it. You could do it in a minute and a half. Those work really well too. Caddy Buddy is a piece of hardware that would work with a Mac Pro instead of, no. The Caddy Buddy is a very small tray. Think of a little plastic tray that's a little bit expandable. It's about yay wide, and it opens up to about maybe that wide. So it's not going to use an iPad Pro. Yes, and Prompt Smart does have a studio edition that allows you to use a real teleprompter. And by real, I mean one, like real teleprompters, guys, cost a pretty penny. Like I haven't seen one that's under like $1,500. And for that one, it comes with a built-in monitor, at least 12 inches, mine is 17 inches. And then you use a laptop that you just plug a wire from the laptop into that teleprompter. That's why I recommend the Caddy Buddy, because it works for just about everybody. Let's see. Any other questions? Okay. Oh, what camera? What camera are you using for this live stream? I'm using the Panasonic GH5S. A DSLR. Let's see. Okay. Well, I think yes, you know what? When I post this, I have asked YouTube to post the chat log, so that will be part of it, if that's helpful to anybody. Oh. Thanks for saying my hair looks great short. I wasn't so sure about that. Green screen or live background? Dan the man, I'm not sure what you meant by that question. Are you asking if this is a green screen or is it a live background? This is a live background. Whenever you do something live, I think that it's a really good idea to have a real background and not a green screen background. I know that Zoom gives you the ability to have a green screen and put a green screen in or put a background in even without a green screen. And then you wind up your head winds up looking like this. Like one time it's shaped like round, and then all of a sudden it's like shaped like a wave in the ocean, and then it's round again, and then it's a wave in the ocean. I mean, no, that's not distracting at all. No. I think that like if you're really going to use video a lot in your business, you should probably have two backgrounds. You should have one that's live, and you should have one, if you really want to get jiggy with it, have one that's green screen. But something like this could work for a lot of people to do pretty much all their videos. And if you look on YouTube, a lot of people, that's all they do. They will sit and they will talk to their camera and put all of their time and attention and energy into, building out a nice background. And that's fine. You can do 90% of your videos that way. The rest of the 10% you can do in your airplane. Just kidding. All right. Okay, Zoom virtual backgrounds look better when using a real green screen. Right, but it still doesn't look professional. And you know why that is, Ron? You know why Zoom backgrounds can't look as good as a background that you shot? And I think you know the answer to this, is that lens on that webcam, that is one tiny little lens, man. It doesn't give you enough pixels for the green screen software to cut out the green. And so you wind up with either a green background or you're cutting into yourself so much that you look kind of like a different person. The dolphin outline around your head, yeah. We need a course on creating a real background. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, 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 okay. I don't see any other questions. I found making videos is now a matter of switching on two lights, clipping on the mic and webcam, and going for it. Yes, yes. When you know who you're talking to, when you know what you're talking about, and you know how to package everything up, and you get some practice at that part of getting in front of the camera and talking and feeling comfortable, then yes, it is. And by the way, you can do this with 2 little lights, or you can do this with 16 lights in another room. You put all the lights on the one side of the room on one dimmer, and you put all the lights on the other side of the room on another dimmer, 2 switches, and you're ready to go in your green screen room. Let's see. Which airplane? Someone is asking me which airplane you fly. I only have one. Guys, how rich do you think I am? I made a video a few weeks ago in my little airplane, and so you can go to the blog and watch it. All right, I think, yes, Tammy, I do intend to do a masterclass one of these times specifically for video pros. And so when people signed up for this one, I asked specifically that they were not video pros, people just getting started, making videos for their websites and for social media. And so that's what we did this time. And I want to thank you very much for coming to the live stream. It was so much fun to do it. If you like what you saw and you're interested in learning more about this, this is the kind of thing that we do in Inner Circle every week. So I want to thank you for coming and spending some time with us today. And I think that will do it for now. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next month for the next Visible Authority Masterclass.